Indonesia. As we know, it sits right in the middle of the Ring of Fire, one of the most disaster-prone places in the entire Earth. Disasters prone to disasters like earthquakes, tsunamis, floods, and even volcanic eruptions. Then we don't ask anymore where or when disasters will take place, but because they will happen. We should be asking the question that what should the state do in regards to those disasters? And should we move the communities or should we strengthen the areas that need strengthening? I side today as the side of proposition that we believe the state should focus on disaster mitigation rather than relocation for a long-term solution. And here is why. Let me be clear of myself that disaster mitigation is an action that is taken by the state to reduce the impact of the damage or the stuff taken by the communities by creating flood barriers, early warning systems, earthquake reliable structures, and even putting in mangrove forests in the coastal areas. And because of that, we are able to strengthen those places. But relocation is moving a physical state from one place to another, in which that we can't possibly move the entire nation to another place that easily. And here's why. Because it's not that we're not saying relocation does not work or is not used, but we're saying that mitigation is better for long term. One of the reasons is that Indonesians have many indigenous people, many customs, many cultures that believe spiritually and believe strongly in their land. Even during disasters, as an example of the 2010 Mount Merapi eruption, over 300,000 people were moved. But months later, they came back to that exact place because it was home. Unlike any other settlement place that you or they could live at. Because, as you know, relocation is, well, moving. If we move people from where they are comfortable to live with or where they strive and thrive in that place, they won't stand to move to those places. But rather than just the people, we have to take in geological factors, as in Indonesia has over 17,000 islands. Tens of millions of people live in those islands. And other than that, the people that live in those islands strive there. But we do not have enough safe place to relocate all of those tens of millions of people in right now in our nation, because the Indonesian Disaster Management Agency, or BNPB, states that 60% of people live in these disaster-prone areas. And it's geologically almost impossible to move these just in our nation alone. It's not almost even, it's practically impossible. So that's why we believe that the government should focus on migration. Not only because it's better for long term, because if we look at the relocation, not only is it quite a hassle, it costs a lot. We do not have enough funds to relocate millions of people. Not only funds, relocating would destroy the livelihoods of people that live in those disaster prone areas. Because as we know, volcanic soil is one of the most good soils in the world to plant, well, vegetables, fruits. And most of the world depends on Indonesia's resources to export for their own needs. What if I told you that people that are relocated were relocated into a place that we used to feed them? Like the slopes of Mount Semeru, Mount Merapi, and Mount Rinjani. They are one of the most they have the most luxuriously abundant soil that they have made families of farmers sustained for many decades and years. Meanwhile, what if we move people from coastal areas to places like that? Not only are we cutting off their income because they rely heavily on fishing and sea life, we are forcing them to adapt to a place that they never adapted for. See? How would you feel if you were made to leave your house and live to another place that, oh, I don't know where I am? You won't like it. And mitigation is more cost effective long term. Why? Because it is stated that per $1 invested in mitigation is $4 to $7 saved. Because rather than using millions on relocating people each time a disaster happens, what if we just use it to repair or to make investments to strengthen the areas? See? Easy solution. Moving can cost billions. Meanwhile, building up, even though it costs billions, you can only do it once and it'll stay like that, strengthened for decades. And people might say, oh, they'd argue that mitigation is not the safest possible option because there's still this distance that can be traveled between the earthquakes, tsunamis, and stuff. But we strongly believe that if we strengthen the areas, not only does that mean that the state says that we will stand with you, we will protect you no matter what, but we will be with you until the very end. Thank you. That's my recommendation.